Hello, welcome to class. My name is Cindy Shelton and I'll be your instructor. I wanted to show you around my course and the way I've designed it and how that I think I've designed it for you to best interact with it. So follow along with me. First of all, to get to our course, there's a couple of ways. One way is to go to whatever your home campus is. Say you're in Ashland, it's ashland.kctcs.edu, and then click on My Path and Blackboard Learn. That will get you to your courses that you're enrolled in. You should see, well, actually, you got to click on courses. Then you'll be able to see the courses you're currently enrolled in. If not, you might have to use the drop down and change. If you've been with us in different semesters, look for the semester, your current semester. Then you can, let me scoot this over so you can see this. You can click a little star on it to make it your favorites, and then it'll show up first. So I need to get that one back on there, but that's how you do it, a little star, and then those will show up as your favorites. So that's kind of handy. If you've been here multiple semesters, you may have a lot of courses on there, and that will help you have those handy. Also, another way to get to Blackboard is elearning.kctcs.edu. That's the direct way without going through, the campus homepage. So either way, that is fine. So we're going to look at your college algebra course. And I am in the instructor view, so yours will look just slightly different than this, but mostly the same. Along this horizontal bar, you can see the default. It shows up with content, and then all the content for the course is down this middle part of the page. I do not use this calendar. I do use announcements on occasion. Well, actually, weekly. You should expect at least one announcement from me. And then usually do that on Wednesday, like midweek, to tell you like where we're at and some of the main things that's happening that week. So I do send announcements and reminders that way. There are some discussions. You can introduce yourself, but I don't use a lot of discussions in this class, and I don't use this gradebook. That's one of the things I'd really like to emphasize is you will be using a math program, MyLab Math. You paid a little bit for that in your tuition pricing. To have access to all the course materials. So everything that you do in my course will be in this MyLab Math. This gradebook is the gradebook for Blackboard Ultra, the platform, and a lot of your teachers, most of the classes use that gradebook. So that is very important, but just not for this class. In this class where it's all this math-based assignments, it's all in the MyLab Math. So you have a MyLab Math student gradebook. That's where you'll always be able to see your grades, and try to emphasize it here. I do not use Blackboard grading. This course only uses this MyLab grading. So your current grade in the course is always updated there. So be aware of that. I prefer not to use this messages either. I like an email, and the reason for that is, and I will find your messages there. I'm always glad to hear from you, so message me any way that you need to. But I don't get a direct link from that. Say I'm out and about or it's evening and I'm not on my laptop. It's harder to get in and see those messages for me. So I like email. It goes directly to my phone and I can usually reply quicker. So avoid using that if possible. So mainly what you need to know, content, that's where you'll mainly live in the course. And then announcements, I use that at least weekly. Down this left-hand side, the other handy thing I want you to know about is Class Collaborate. This is a wonderful place for us to meet in our course room. This is our private course room for anyone enrolled in this class. I can meet you here and tutor, or you can meet some of your classmates. The classroom is always open and available. It's slow to load here for us, but it is there. And oh, there it is. And you can see the default. You can't see me here, but I could unmute that, and my webcam would show me, or I have a webcam that shows like my desk area, so I can go over math problems with you, so I can do that, and then of course unmute so that we can hear each other. So I can meet you there as needed. So no, that's a resource. And again, it's just if I say I'll meet you in our in Blackboard Collaborate, that's just right here. You just say join session, and if you tell me you're going to be there at a certain time, we can arrange that time and I'll be there. Okay. So I think that's all you need to know about that, is mainly the Collaborate, where we can meet, the announcements. I like that. Now let's talk about the content. So interact with this, you know, in order here. It's got the first thing first. Click to start here. All the information you need. The course, I always put the overview of what's in this module. These are called modules. The overview, and then the ending to let you know you made it to the wrap-up. So there's a bunch of stuff in this, and it's the nuts and bolts of the course. I will save this video in this Navigating the Course link. So if you need to review anything I've said today, it'll be right there. A place for you to introduce yourself, some information about me, the syllabus and calendar. Let's look at that. So here's your syllabus. Let's open the class schedule. Let's just do it this way. Okay, so in this class schedule, I have the courses, the modules are laid out by weeks. Week 1, our first week, it tells you that you should watch the online lecture video. So I do have my own personal video lectures that I've recorded in semesters past and uploaded here, as well as some notes. You should always at least watch the lecture videos. I would start there, take good notes in that lecture video. That may be sufficient for you to have attended the lecture that way, and then jump into the homework. There are other supplements to also help should you need more interaction with the material. I'll show you that in a little bit, but at least watch the online lecture. So officially the first week, all that is required of you is 1.1. But I've also listed Chapter R here. There's a review chapter. It's just filled with all kinds of wonderful things that are foundational to our class, such as factoring, all the exponent rules, interacting with the polynomials, some assumed prerequisite skills that you may have learned in a previous class, but it may have been a little while, or you may need, you know, even there might have been a topic that you need to address again. I find factoring is that for a lot of students. So know that there's all kinds of wonderful review lessons in Chapter R, and I'll show you that also here in a minute. But the only required thing that will for grading is 1.1. So make sure you watch the 1.1 lecture and take your notes. Then you will do a 1.1 assignment. I'll show you where that is. And also you need to take your syllabus quiz. That lets me know you're active in the class and that you acknowledge that you've read the syllabus. And there are a few little questions on that. So you'll take your syllabus quiz just as soon as possible. Do that by Friday of the first week of class. It's due. And then do your 1.1 homework and the quiz 1A by that following Monday. So I always make Monday midnight deadlines. That way it gives you the weekend should you need to work around that timing, and then it gives you all day Monday if you need to reach out to me and ask a question about something. That gives you through Monday midnight. Those are my deadline every week pretty much. Week 2, 1.2 and 1.3, we kind of follow the same routine. Alignments, that just shows that I'm not just making this stuff up, that it's a competency that's required by KCTCS. In case you transfer this course, I am following a list of competencies. And on we go. You'll do that every week until we get to midterm. So whenever you wrap up Chapter 2, then we'll start with talking about the midterm exam. There will be a midterm exam covering Chapters 1 and 2. This midterm exam is proctored. There's information about that in your reading and your syllabus, but I do have you I do observe you during that testing. We've got this wonderful program called Respondus. I've used it for a couple of years now and really not heard any complaints from my students. The only thing is you just can't do it on your phone, and I found some students were taking their course completely on their phone, which I think would be kind of frustrating with the math. It's kind of hard to see. So I think it's better if you can have a bigger platform to see the problems and work on it. But anyway, you cannot use Respondus on your phone. You further cannot use Respondus on an iPad. You have to have either a laptop, and it doesn't work on the Google Chromebooks. It won't work on that. You have to have an actual laptop, desktop situation, and you can come to campus to do that if that becomes a problem for you. If you don't have one at home, or someone in your family, and you can take it in any location that you want, but it does need to be a laptop or a desktop computer for that Respondus to interact with it, because it has to have a webcam. I'm going to be observing you it records you while you take that exam. And so I'll be able to see that. So anyway, we can talk further about that. I don't want to stress you about that, but I just want you to be aware that just kind of keeps the integrity of the course, so I can make sure you are who you say you are and that you are taking the course and following the plan and learning the material. And then the midterm exam is the only one I actually observe is the midterm exam. And I feel like it's got a lot of the material that attest your skills, your basic skills, and then you start applying those more in chapter 3 and 4. So know that you cannot use Photomath or Mathway or any of those apps that just solves the problems for you. You can use those in your studies as a tool. I encourage that, but make sure you're learning the material correctly in the way that the course is intended to be. And you cannot use any of those kind of tools. You can use a graphing calculator, but you just can't use your cell phone to use any of those apps. When you're taking the test, no cell phones allowed. All right, so just wanted to make it clear about that. And then we start again, chapter 3, and we work our way through, and then you have a final exam towards the end of the class. Here are those competencies I mentioned. All right, and feel free to reach out to me with any questions as we go along through this. Here's the syllabus. Be sure to read all that, and then how your grade is determined. That midterm exam is worth 20% of your grade, the final 20%. Quizzes, these are weekly quizzes, and homework, the percentage there. Also note, I do have a late work policy. Like I said, the homework and the quizzes are generally due on that Monday of each week. A 5% reduction in points will be given for each day that homework and quizzes are late. So if you don't make it on Monday and it's Tuesday, it's not a big hit on your grade, but just a little something just to encourage you to be timely and keep up with those deadlines. You can work ahead of the deadlines as well. You can work ahead as you have time. Just make sure you're meeting those deadlines because it is a lot of material, and if you fall behind, it can be hard and overwhelming to catch back up. So that's the deadlines. Okay, so that is that part. There's a syllabus quiz. You can link to it right here. I'll show you how that looks. So when we link, it opens in a new window. That is the MyLab program, opens in a new window, and then you can start your test there. It does say unlimited times. All of your weekly quizzes and homework have unlimited attempts. So, and it says the quiz will affect your scoring, but that's what taking quizzes do. But you can retake it for a higher score as long as it's before the deadline. Notice the deadline is listed here. That's the 18th of August. So you'll notice the little rocket ship rockets it out to another platform. Anytime you see that, it's taking you to the MyLab program. Otherwise, these are documents inside of Blackboard. So there's a lot of these little rocket ships. Here's where you can find all of your assignments under your MyLab Math. You've got all assignments listed there. Again, rocketing us out. There's your syllabus quiz. Here's chapter R that I mentioned. These are all optional. Notice they're not due and they don't count in your grade book. So those are just to help you. There's factoring and all those base skills I said would be good for you to look at. Or if you need to come back here at any time during the semester to practice. Chapter 1, notes and study aids. I'll always have this here. It's a little overwhelming, the amount, but these are the book media supplements. You can use those as needed. And like I said earlier, it may be sufficient to just attend the lectures that I'm going to show you here in a minute, but there's other supplements as well available. So there are all your homework, all your assignments, quizzes and tests, study plan, that's optional. A lot of things are optional. If it's required, it will have a due date and be in your grade book. There's your grade book to check your grade at any time. Okay, so here's the review material, and it is optional as I stated. So this is where you can see a lot of the review things as needed. I'll always have these notes and study aids. This is from the book. I have my personal videos below, but this is extra help as needed. Your textbook, should you want to read the section. And then I have some of my personal notes in there. Practice problems if you want to rocket ship out to the MyLab. Okay, here are my classroom videos. So this is me and the review lecture as if you were attending in person. So I think at least watch those. That would be